Well, obviously you're feeling the vibe of the conversation, so what are you doing staying here for so long? Keep on.
Like when you live in a place of separation, there's always going to be comparison. And comparison is like, oh, I've read this way. It's like comparison is like one of the easiest ways to like lose happiness. Like when you're constantly comparing, you're never going to get to a place of security with yourself, right? Yeah. And that's what we live in this society. It's a constant comparing, separating. How can we be better, worse than? Like,
I think it's all growing up. It's all hierarchy.
Take that away.
So.
Yeah.
You know,
don't
there's a lot of hierarchy.
Don't you feel like
how we were raised?
Like my experience with like sport guy, like jocks. What do we call them?
Athletics. Okay, we can talk about this.
No, is that like my experience?
Right.
My experience in like high school was that like in the locker room they would like know each other's dick sizes and like stuff like that. But then they were also the first ones to like separate from the
Make it
no homo, and then also like treat people that were gay badly. And
I was just gonna say they were the first ones to call me gay,
and
but
like,
they were doing gay ass shows.
Yeah, which is like hold on. Which is an interesting thing. It's like where does that like why did like it's like an instinct? I don't know. Like they engaged in these things that are just like self-exploration maybe, but then felt so bad about it. I don't know.
They had to like bring it out on you or something?
No, I think that
and on themselves, make themselves.
When I was in high school, I played soccer. I, was not because I was really a sporty person. I don't think I'm a really sporty person, but I was always pushed. I was always pushed to do sports, right? So and I felt obviously I was someone who kind of enjoyed this, right? But like in the locker room or whatever experience, like I feel like that was like very common. I think that. I don't know. It's such a weird dichotomy in a society that's like gay is bad, but then everyone wants to do something gay. It's like,
it's like unnatural.
And it's not even because these people are like. It's not even like I'm sure you guys can identify with this, but it's not even a sexual act. It's more like
together.
It's weird. It's I don't even know what to explain it as.
Honestly, it's like to me, it's like the super modern day representation of like blackface. You know what I mean? Like. We'll sit here and like laugh at it, we'll play it off, and like it's okay if we do it, but if we see that you're doing it and like you're doing it for real, then like it's an ultra problem. Yeah, you know what I mean? And
what an interesting comparison, because my friend Tyler and I, what we did in high school, this was our like go-to activity. We would go on Xbox Live and play Grand Theft Auto, and we would have, at this time I was very much in the closet, identified as straight, and we would go, him as well. He was never in the closet. He's heterosexual. We would go online and play Grand Theft Auto and pretend to be these two gay guys. We'd be like, oh my god, like we're in the lobby, like we're gay, just to like fuck with people, right? And we thought it was the funniest thing ever that we had these two personas. And one time we met this gay guy in the lobby who was like a real gay person. And we got his number. He was in California, whatever. And we would like text him and meet, and obviously like pretend to have this relationship with this guy. And then when Tyler and I were, alone talking, we would laugh about it. We were like, this is so funny. Like this guy's actually gay. Like it was sort of like speaking to the same truth about, it's like going along and sort of making fun of something that
you are.
But he wasn't. He's not someone who's homophobic either. It was just like very.
But you weren't offended by your friend.
It was like the other.
Right.
Well, I think it's like that thing of being
we have like a really like.
Yeah, it's like the thing of being scared of somebody who's proud of what you're like. Antagonizing them for. You know what I mean? Like. I don't know. I think that's like the ultimate representation. Because if you go online, like you hear the most like outrageous of like the gay shit. If like gay people don't even say this kind of thing.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. It's just outlandish.
Yeah. So it's like when you hear it taken to that extent, it's like it's all stemming from someplace. And I think for me, like it's just a big place of like one, they don't talk about it. Especially not amongst each other. Even me as like a black male, like no older black male has ever talked to me about like gay relationships, be it woman, man, like trans, like none of that. They don't talk to that. But mind you, like growing up, the church that I went to, I remember like there was a bunch of gay people in that church. Like there's a bunch of transgender people, you know what I mean? And like, and I remember like growing, like now I think about it, I remember being watched by like the transgender guy down the street.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And like, yeah, and like he never tried anything wild, like anything crazy, but like me growing up, I never thought of it as like, this guy gets probably ostracized, like in all aspects, and like I kind of found out that was happening in church, where he was going to, like that had to be wherever he was at, and like I know a big part of it is that like the people that antagonize and make fun are like the same people who would be the first persons to like make those jokes and like do that amongst each other.
You have to understand, anytime there's an attack taking place, it's coming from a place of trauma.
Exactly.
And it's usually childhood trauma or like past trauma, and so like. It's really, really hard because you want to like antagonize the other person because they're being so awful. But like I've been really trying to get myself in a place where like this is their inner child who's traumatized freaking the F out right now and like kind of stepping back and being like, anytime somebody wants to like freak out on me for whatever my life choices are, it's because their trauma is coming up right now. And like, it's really hard, but if you can hold that space and not get so like angrily back involved, because that's what I want to do, like the inner like angry me wants to come out, like these conversations don't happen when that's what's happening. Like when you're just getting angry back. When you can just sit back and be like, everyone has a freaking story. Yeah. They believe what they believe for a reason. They're not trying to be hateful and antagonistic. It just like, it comes from a place.
Yeah. I'm going back to your point about how did we get to this place where we have to say numbers or not numbers or whatever. Yeah. And I was saying this to Colton earlier, but who watched Sex and the City? Okay. I love it. Oh my god, I love it. Man. Please tell me you remember the episode where Miranda and Steve both wrote lists out.
Oh my god,
their lists out.
I think I do.
And Steve's list was lower, and hers was pages, and she was like erasing and like trying to be as accurate as possible, and she couldn't remember names, so she'd be like that one guy from that one bar that one time. And I remember seeing that episode, and I was like, that's a hoe. She has so many bodies, but it was normalized because it's on HBO, which is like on TV. And there's this woman that, you know, is a lawyer, and otherwise we all see her character as very like in this box. And
she was the most.
She was the most. But she was all the way out here. And
Charlotte was pretty.
So I feel like that one episode of that one show threw me because I grew up in a household where, oh my God, you don't like talk about sex. We don't watch sex scenes. We fast forward that, like still today. My parents fast forward. They can't. Mary Pat's not here for a reason. She's like, I don't think I could. She's like, I don't think I could do that.
Don't tell me that. She knows. Any other topic.
She knows, but like, I think that it's mad fast. So
I think it's so interesting.
I have my list. Like, it's on my phone. And
really?
It's locked in a notepad.
I don't know.
You know, you've seen my list.
You can lock notes.
I was trying to
you can lock notes.
First of all, you can write it down. First of all,
we're talking about how guys make lists. You have a list.
I definitely have a list.
I don't have a list.
I have emojis.
Wait, have you made a list and then deleted it?
I never made a list.
Because I'm organized.
Oh my God, that's weird.
And it's delineated by high school, college, and post-college.
But it's not necessarily to be like, oh, look at me, I have so many bodies. It's more just like,
I want to know who.
Yeah.
Look, I have a question.
Do you have 2 lists? Do you have who's went down on you? Or 3 lists?
No, it's part of the legend. It's part of the legend.
They're all on one list. You know I'm a Capricorn. I can't do multiple lists. It's in one list.
Yeah.
But then how do you
keep all my texts in one?
How do you differentiate like?
There's
emojis.
Yeah.
And I have emojis.
And there's something that would indicate if they did or not.
It's like a March Madness bracket.
Yeah. Oh my God.
On a quick glimpse. On a quick glimpse. Because you can't be looking real close.
I have like a really like a question.
Anyway.
Did you guys ever like? Okay, because I remember like, there was a certain period of time where like sex became like a superpower play. Like, or I realized, I think it was like a period of time where like, I realized that I had power in sex.
Yeah.
Like, I was so used to like being like powered in sex, and like it got to a point where I was like, oh shit, like, I have power.
When you take back that like, oh, my pussy's got power.
So then I would,
guys find that sexy, by the way.
No, but
guys love that.
But like, so then I would not do it nice. Like, I would like go out and like, not go out. It only happened like twice, but like, I would execute my power.
I would execute.
And then
Mamba mentality.
And then I would like be proud for having been mean.
Oh,
for doing
when you're mean in the power.
No, but I didn't like it. Like I did it for power.
Like, when you say mean,
is it like acting like you don't care? Like there's not that mental attachment that we were talking about?
No, like I would like really be like.
You would be like, go down on me and leave.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm not there yet. I'm not there.
It's not a good place to be. I was not proud of myself.
My pride to be hurt. I ain't gonna lie.
I really liked the guy. I really genuinely liked the guy that I did that to.
And then
and I did a power play because I thought that I was like, guys do power plays all the time. So I was like,
not even a question.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, it's a power play. But his feelings were really hurt. And then I was like, oh my God, of course I hurt his fucking feelings. Like I've got my feelings hurt like 17 times.
Or
more. Now I hurt his feelings and
I feel terrible.
And now I can't even talk to him anymore. I really liked him.
No, it's never expected.
It's so interesting because I told my friends about it in Italy when I lived there, and they're like, "You're a bitch."
But I guarantee you don't burn a bridge with a guy when you do that. He's gonna want you more,
I definitely
in a
think
sense,
no.
Which is it's a weird statement where you do that.
Did you ever see him again after that?
Yeah, but then it was never like. But then it was like I think we genuinely liked each other, and then after that it was like okay, like you play games.
But the same thing, like how you said, how guys typically do that. Well, let me propose this question. Guys sleep with girls, then they almost, act like they don't like them or whatever.
Yeah, and that's like,
I'm done with that.
But let me ask this question: with guys, why is it that women are attracted to guys that don't want them or who act like assholes?
I think that's a human condition that we want when we can't have.
That we're raised with, I think, it's codependency.
Yeah, because if we're not looked at as being desired or desirable, like
it took a paradigm shift.
Yeah, well, that's what it is.
To like not be attracted to that anymore. Like, and I still have friends that are attracted to that, and I have to, I tell them, like, you need to like take control of that. Like, you don't have to. Like, I used to be like that.
Mm-hmm. This is what prevents men from not caring about having sex with women, but treating women badly.
And then like you just change something.
Straight guys know that. I can treat women badly, sleep with a lot of women, and do whatever I want, and women will always still
come crawling back.
Because listen, like everyone's raised.
It's gonna prevent.
What do you think? I feel like you totally.
You read.
I'm like, all right, so I didn't get any play like that growing up, right? So it wasn't until because I moved like halfway through our junior years. When I moved, I got extra play, but I got like a little play the year before that. You know what I mean?
I want to play.
I'm gonna tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why. Yeah, like a little play. Like I lost my virginity the year before, right?
Right.
But like it wasn't until like I stopped treating everybody like I was the bro. You know what I mean? Like I remember I was mad. Like I was the bro for everybody. Like yo, that's the bro. That's the bro. Yeah, like the friend zone. Like that was my. I lived in the friend zone. Yeah, I was chilling in that. I was post up. You know what I mean? It wasn't until it got to the point where like, and it wasn't even like I didn't do it intentionally, but I just got tired of hearing stories from like girls that are really like. I don't even say but like I just really fuck with them. You know what I mean? Like they were cool people. Like I considered them my sister because like clearly wasn't gonna be anything more than that. But like you come back to me with these same stories of these same people.
Tell me about it. I still deal with it with friends. I'm like, stop abusing yourself.
Yeah, like even my girl's going through that now with like a lot of her friends that she grew up with, and it's like, yo, people gonna learn how they learn.
Yeah.
But they got to a point for me where I was just like, yo, I honestly can't help you. Like you're asking for a man's perspective, and like clearly mine is completely different from what you're going through.
Yeah.
So it wasn't until I like kind of just dubbed all that I was like, all right, now they're actually like, hey, you want to go out? You want to go do this? Like. What are you doing next weekend? And these are people that like treated me like I was like little brother and what? Because I knew mad older people.
Right.
So it wasn't until like I kind of just nipped that all in the bud that like they all just started kind of giving me play. In a sense. You know?
Did that make you feel some type of way?
Did that make you feel some type of way? Like, oh, okay,
I mean, I was like at first, and
now you're looking at me.
Kind of, it was like some Mike Jones. You know what I mean? Like, I checked myself super quick. Yeah, like, I definitely checked myself quick because these are people that like I would give my honest advice to.
Sure.
Like. You know, I feel like all guys have been in that scenario where there's like that one female friend in their life where like you'll tell them like, yo, all right, as a guy, this is how it is. Like you're giving them your honest opinion, like,
sure.
Yo, this guy ain't shit for you. You know, you're telling it how it is, and like they still don't listen. You know,
like he's playing you, like he's gonna play you again.
Right.
If you
and you're living that pattern.
And then, like, mind you, you're here, and it's not like they don't know you're here. Like they know you're here, but they're hitting you up because they know that every time they call, you're gonna answer. You know what I mean?
You're safe.
Yeah. So it wasn't until like
you're safe.
I actually just decided to like, yo, you might have to learn this on your own, and not because like I got beef with you, but clearly like me giving you that advice isn't doing any justice to either of us. That like. Yeah. Then start getting play, and then I think it was like one or two encounters I had where I kind of was on that like vindictive, like, oh word, like now you all right, you know what I mean? Yep. And then after that, like I was definitely checked it where it was like, all right, this shit is dumb, you know, like this is dumb because you end up burning bridges that you have. Sure. Like at least for me, I had close relationships from growing up, and then all of a sudden, like within a day, it's just like, all right, I'm not really like it was cool, but
when I was younger, I didn't have any of the relationships I had with females when I was in my late teens and early 20s were sexual. I didn't really have that many female friends because if they were my female friend, it was because there was some type of sexual thing there. Mm-hmm. And it wasn't until I got older that I got a little bit more mature and I almost like thought to myself, like, wow, I don't have any like female friends that I can just call like my friend because I enjoy them as a person and you know, it's I think partly a societal norm and you know,
it's also like a responsibility thing. It's difficult. Like I have guy friends, and I don't know. It always is weird because like I have guy friends that I've never gotten with, but like I always know that they would get with me.
Yeah. Yes. Right. That's also being a woman. Yeah. And having guy friends.
Yeah, I was about to say because when I moved back to Hackensack, I could run off a list of a bunch of people I bumped
Let's
into.
not.
We're not.
Yeah.
Beep.
Right.
You know? But like, I remember like running into people and not even like, this is after living in New York, being like, oh, and they recognize me. And I'm like, oh, you know, how you been, blah, blah, blah. Like, well, yo, let's link up. Like, we'll go get brunch or something like that. Like, mind you. Like, mind you. I'll bring up like, oh, yeah, me and my girl just moved back. But like, yeah, we should definitely go get food or something. Like, I'm not about to invite you to my house. You know what I mean? I don't know. But then like, I come to realize that like,
they asked you on a date.
Yeah, like they're thinking I'm asking them on a date, and it's like, what? Like I literally said, like, yeah, we go to the most public place, like, don't gotta be nothing crazy.
Oh, they thought that was even more crazy. They thought, oh shit, he's bringing me to a public place.
Yeah, so it's like, yeah, right.
Because we're always trying to contrive some mystery.
And it was like, and he mentioned he had a girl. Yeah, so it's like,
so he's out here.
Oh, so he loves me.
Yeah. So I feel like within like 6 months, I started hearing like certain things back from certain people. Like, yo, you saw such and such. I was like, oh, nah, nip all this in the bud. Yeah,
I don't see nobody. I don't see people.
Yeah, so it's like,
I stay inside all the time.
So then it made me realize, like, all right, like, maybe it's like a locational thing. Like maybe, you know, small towns are going to be small towns. Big towns are going to be, you know, big towns are going to be more understanding, which is like, you know, fairly true to an extent. But it definitely did make me think that, like, you know, all that shit I was going through when I was younger, like, it definitely still does exist for people once they get older, especially if that's not the wavelength that you've been on to begin with, you know?
And if you're in a relationship, I think that's something you kind of got to be honest about.
Yeah, like, and that's why I also realized that, like, people in relationships don't have a lot of friends just because, like, I can't have a lot of female friends.
But then it's also like, but like, why though? But it's
also
like,
that's limiting.
But
well,
maybe
I think you can, but you have to communicate it.
Well, yeah, because it's they now. It's like,
I mean, it depends on your dynamic.
Well, it does. But like, let's say, like that example, right? I saw an old girl. I was like, yo, how you doing? Let's go. I haven't seen her in years. Like when I moved from Hackensack, I moved. You know what I mean? Like, didn't come back for a while. But like the hardest thing explaining to your girl is like, hey, like I just met up with this girl I used to grow up with. And we're
like, how'd you explain coming here?
But if you trust somebody enough,
how did you explain coming here to your girl?
Oh, I told her, I was like, yo, like I had to go, like, yo, me and Vicky grew up, like.
Right, pictures, lists.
And probably like other people, like you said, were gonna be there too. Like,
exactly.
A one-on-one.
Yo, it was so bad. I was like, yo, my first interaction with Vicky. I don't know if you remember this.
I don't know where we're going with this one.
No, all right, we're in pre-K, right? We're in pre-K. We're on the playground minding our business. You know what I mean?
What, separately?
Yeah, separately, minding my business. Like, I don't think I ever actually had a conversation with Vicky yet.
You guys playing on the monkey bar?
Vicky comes up to me. Mind you, I don't know why I remember this, but she smelled like baby powder growing up. Like, she always smelled like baby powder, right?
Oh my God,
she comes up to me and she's like, no, I'm lying. She's like, if you do bad, I'll kill you. If you do right, you're good. And then just walked away. And like, and that was my first ever like interaction with Vicky. It was like, I don't know what brought that up. But I remember. That was right in front of another K parking right in the front. And I remember, I solely remember, this is the first time I ever did this. I was like, she walked away and I was like, cool. Like no problem for me. I had no.
I'm not gonna die right now.
My persona has been the same since the beginning.
I have so many opinions right now.
But it was the most random thing. But it was like, all right, Vicky Cumberbatch.
She saw you. She was like,
shouted out my last name. Okay.
She saw you. She was like,
no, it's cool.
I mean, it's your.
The worst.
She was like, I fuck with him. It's so funny. It's so funny to me.
That is really funny, and LOL at your memory.
Hey. I don't remember a lot.
I definitely don't remember that.
But I remember,
That is the cutest thing.
That's really cute.
That's so funny.
We left quite an impression.
Yeah.
Baby powder.
Yo. That's what I remember. I was like, she walked away.
Baby powder.
Yeah, because I was like, she just told me that she smells like baby powder. Like, that's the most random thing for somebody that smells like baby powder.
She smells like a little baby. And
yeah,
she's like,
she just
I
came
will
up
kill
like
my
Stewie Griffin.
Looked like a little boy.
Yeah, it was like Stewie Griffin, just like.
I knew we were going there.
Great.
Yep, that was good.
Nothing has changed.
No, nothing's changed.
Well, I want to. I don't know if we're short on time, but I wanted to say one thing.
We're living our lives
pertaining to this communication, and I'm going to bring up something relatively recent. And just to get some thoughts.
I'm so bring it up.
I wanted to say something about it.
No, so I don't know if it was yesterday or Wednesday. He went.
No, you
don't. Ben tells me that he is meeting a coworker after work for a drink, and it's a female coworker who I actually have met a handful of times. Who, of course, I have my own. She could be anybody, and I'd have any, you develop whatever opinions, and I've met her, and I think she's a cool girl that I actually would be friends with
even worse.
On my own. Right. So then I'm thinking like, you know, that could mean a number or go a million different ways. But I'm just interested to hear people's thoughts on that because he went out for a drink and I had zero issue, zero problem. I thought it was a well-needed like time for him to just decompress about work and vent because they used to, she no longer works at the company, but like they had that kind of thing. And I just felt like it was important for both of them. Like you should do things with friends. Like you should, like I wasn't even thinking of it as this is a female that's going out for a drink.
I mean, I think that's perfect.
Although that isn't something that is uncommon though. I think since we met each other, that isn't even like, I don't typically do that. And I knew because she felt comfortable with her and because she'd met her and knows her. And because I've talked about my relationship with this person, I think I gauged that she would be comfortable.
Like I knew what your dynamic was like with that person, and you knew like some of my old bosses. Like I used to go out with one of them all the time for a drink, who was a guy, and other people would come. It was never really like me alone ever. So like I just think it comes back to the communication.
And I don't hold that over your head anymore.
If you didn't know her, if you didn't know this girl, would it have been a problem too? Because I feel like that's not you.
Well, that's the thing. That's why I said that first because I would think like that's the thing. If I didn't know who she was, I can't necessarily say like I'd be okay with it. It's because I know this girl. I know that she's recently married. Like, not that that prevents anybody from doing anything, but like I knew her, and I knew the kind of girl that she was.
Well, here's so my thoughts with that is like, it comes down to like how well you actually trust and respect your partner. Because love is one thing. Love's great. I love a lot of people pretty easily. Respect is a totally different factor. And it takes me a long time to respect someone. So when I respect somebody, I know no matter what, that my boyfriend's a good person, and he wouldn't do something to actively hurt me. That's it.
Yeah. If you have that foundation.
If I have that foundation, I'm like, at the end of the day, my ego, anxiety brain is going to go in 100 different directions, but I trust you because I respect you. And at the end of the day, you're a good person. Done.
And that's exactly where I was coming from with this. It just made me think when you're telling your story, like you're coming back, this person's brand new to your girl. She has no idea who she is, and you're going to say to her, oh, I might like meet up, hang out, whatever the case may be.
Situational.
Like that's why, like something like that would totally rub me the wrong way.
But then it would be like
something like this. I was like, no,
that's because
you
had met her.
But that's the thing, like,
because you had met her.
What do you what do you say to get to that point? Like, what's the intro? You know what I mean? Like, at what point did she meet her where it was like, all right, now she's cool with this person if you were going to go get a drink?
I've talked about, I'm like vocal about the people I work with, like my relationship with, you know, this dude, this girl. Oh, I can't stand this girl at work. I can't, you know, this guy's cool,
like
whatever.
After work,
so like she knows about like people I work with, yada yada. She's a girl who is similar age as me. We kind of just clicked, had common connections, and kind of just like vibe as people, like on a mature level, just like fucking around, joking around, like whatever. And I've always talked about like her and her man, this and that. She knows I'm vocal with my relationship with her. Like I talk to her. She's like a sister to me, so I talk to her about like, yeah, I started seeing this girl Becca. She's cool, like whatever. Like so she knew like from the beginning of everything. So I think when she works nearby, she works 7 blocks from me. So you know, one time I was like, oh, me and Noemi are going to get coffee. You want to come meet us? Like I would love for you to meet her. So I think that kind of
opens the door.
Yeah.
100%. It takes a lot of talking.
That's what it is.
It's a lot of trust. Yeah.
But like also too, I felt like, and as cool as I think she is, like I never felt threatened. I know as females, like that can be like.
I would be like, oh, I'm going to get a drink with this chick I work with. Her name's yada yada. I never told her about you, but she wants to get a drink.
Right. And if I was getting this vibe from this girl that like something didn't just rub me the wrong way, then like I would feel very differently.
We also can't deny just the dynamic of the importance of the relationship, because like I think women tend to feel really threatened when they don't feel secure in the relationship, which again comes from like a place of love, of trust, and of like
codependency.
Yeah, of like security.
Check the codependent patterns, which are very prevalent in Western society.
Yeah.
It's like if you don't feel secure in your relationship, you're gonna feel threatened by.
I struggle to know where the line is.
I'm about to say, because like my girl's favorite thing to say is that like, one, she don't trust females in general, But then like,
that's so I knew you were gonna say that. It's not you I don't trust, it's them.
Yeah, you know, and like I think there's like some truth to that. You know what I mean? But like,
there.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And like, I don't knock it. Like, I never knock it.
What does it matter?
Well, I think certain cultures.
Look at the girls that I grew up with. There's no way.
I think there's certain cultures that are more jealous than others.
Well, I was about to say.
I've dated girls of all different races.
I think there's a cop-out because if even like, so what? Like, if you don't trust the girls, at the end of the day, that means what she's saying, I think, is that I don't trust them to not tease you to the point where you can control yourself and you're gonna do it.
Yeah. Yes, because that's the message.
Okay, but that's at the end of the day, that's you that she doesn't trust.
Well, yeah, but that's the thing, right?
Yeah,
so like,
I think girls from different cultures are also very.
I think that she's telling you like, oh, don't worry, like it's them, but like it's not, it's you.
So here's where the balance comes, right? Like, all right, now I get to spill the tea in a sense, you know.
Hey,
do it.
But like, so within my relationship. When we first met, like she would tell me all the time, like, yo, you know, I have this meeting, I'm going on meetings, you know, X, Y, Z. But then like later find out like when she says meeting, she's going to go like have brunch or like have dinner with somebody. Not to say like it was always a guy or a girl, but like that's just what she calls like a networking kind of thing. But like even now to this day, there's like still guys that she'll go that, you know, she was friends with before I met that she'll go have food with, or like, oh, such and such is in town. And like, mind you, I don't trip, but my whole thing is like I don't trip because I believe in trust. And like my whole thing in trust is that like,
what's your sign?
Capricorn.
My sign.
Yeah. So my whole thing is that like, I'm not gonna sit here and treat you as if you're about to do something. Like, even if I'm not with you, or even if I am with you, and some guy like tries to holler at you, before I say something, I expect you to ignore him.
100%.
You know, if he does say something, if he continues to say something, then I'm gonna speak up.
You can't ignore the fact that like if somebody does get with somebody else, maybe they're not satisfied, and that person made them happy. I don't know. Like I always come back to like
what we were talking about this before, but like. I'm poly. I'm in an open relationship, right? And that's very hard. Like there are times where I'm like, it makes me nervous. And my friend asked me, he goes, the only reason it makes you nervous is because there's something deep down inside of you that thinks if they go out and meet this person or have a sexual encounter with this person or whatever it is, even just like a coffee, that they'll suddenly fall out of love with you. That's not how love works, right? If they find some other person, it's not because they found this person and fell out of love with you. It's because something else was already not right. We got to get out of this idea that somebody else can come in and sweep up your person.
No, of course. Yeah.
Something's already broken if somebody else comes in.
I have a lot of questions with being poly.
Oh my God, I know. It's huge. I know.
No,
I just opened a can of worms.
What made you say, you know what, I want to be poly? I want to be in a poly relationship because I'm sure you were in relationships before that
weren't
more atypical.
Yeah.
What happened that you were like,
it was a personal growth. I really believe in personal growth, and I believe that like the majority of my issues my whole life come from codependent patterns. What's the best way to break a pattern is to face it head on. And codependency is born from the I need you to complete me mentality, and polyamory breaks that wide open. It's the belief that like you're here because I want you here, not because I need you here. So if you walk out the door tomorrow because something else makes you happier, good. I love you so much, I want you to be happy. I'm not wanting you to stay here for me because that's codependency.
Does poly just mean that you're in a relationship with one person, you love one person, that one person loves you, there's no other love going around? But
love can go around in any direction.
Love goes around.
Love goes around in any direction.
I wasn't sure if it was that
so that's an open relationship where it's connected between the two of us and they can go anywhere they want. Poly's like, if you're connected with somebody tomorrow,
is there more love like that?
It doesn't matter. Well, love to me is love. There's no higher, lower, because I just believe in it differently.
And well, at least from what I've seen, you know what I mean?
It's like, very different. It's very different.
Yeah.
I know.
Like, are most poly relationships a thing where it's like just one guy and he has a like bunch of different families, or is it like more of a spectrum of
polygamy?
Polygamy. Okay,
that is different. Polyamory is just many loves. It just means that like my love is limitless. I'm not gonna hold it back, and I don't want you to hold it back.
Okay.
For the most part, my relationship is mostly monogamous as far as sexually, but like I don't ever have to question if he goes and has a drink with a person. I don't have to question if I'm getting a strong relationship with a friend, I don't ever have to worry about it messing with his ego, because at the end of the day,
you've made a decision.
Like we've made a decision, we've communicated it.
Was it just something you decided on a whim?
I had gotten out of a marriage that was like clearly destructive.
Did someone propose, I guess, the idea to you when you were dating someone like?
I proposed it to my current boyfriend.
But you were exploring. I mean, it wasn't like it was on a whim.
Because I don't think it's something, exactly, that's my question. It doesn't just feel like
I had gotten there through a lot of reading and talking to people, and I have conversations like this daily.
Yeah, she's out here.
So, this is my daily life.
You are working and traveling around the world for a year. That's the simplest thing. Sure. It is not a vacation.
I think what Dina said about like, okay, it's not a vacation. It looks like a vacation to the untrained eye.
Yeah.
You see people like, I'm convinced that there wasn't much work going on, and that obviously wasn't the case.
Right, but how would you know that?
When I'm sitting in a cubicle and my friend is putting up pictures from Vietnam riding an elephant, I'm going, bullshit. It's not working.
Exactly.
Obviously, I see the benefits of doing this. I mean, it sounds like a great opportunity, but how do you think you educate, let's call it traditional employers, to give people this opportunity?
If you don't do your work, you should be fired.
Mm-hmm. Whether you're here or there.
Whether you're here or there. And it's like, if you don't have a way to figure out if people are doing their work,
then you need to reassess how you manage.
Because the whole idea of work is a toil, and it shouldn't be from some points of view. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it shouldn't be combined with fun or pleasure or even satisfaction. Mm-hmm. It should be work, the 4-letter word.
So we just wrapped our convo and it was excellent. We hope you liked it. Make sure to like, subscribe, follow YouTube, Patreon, Instagram, Facebook. And yes, you'll see this ending a lot because who doesn't love a little consistency, and we wanted to do it one time, so let's do it.